could always tell who people were. I think when you're at a very young age. When I was a kid, I could tell how I could see people, and I'd be like, one day you're gonna be that guy that does this, because guys that do that act like you when they're little boys. Yeah. And fast forward 50, 45 years. Well, because I wasn't, but yeah, anyway. Uh, my little co-host mom back here. Anyway, so you got there's books that used to exist. I don't know if they still exist. Everything I needed to know I learned in kindergarten, and that stuck with me. That always stuck with me because I found it to be true. Like, I figured out how people were gonna be with if they were gonna live to be 60 years old by the way they acted it in kindergarten, and if they're gonna be honest or if they're gonna be a cheat. We have free will, and people don't have to act the way that they're compelled to act. They could go against their compulsions, they just don't, because we're taught in today's society to do whatever you want. Like, security equates and freedom equates comfort and luxury in some way. And the ages are shifting and changing, and I'm finding that it's different now. That people want their security is just hanging out at home with an old lady, watching TV, talking about crazy things people are doing in the world because they're not using their energy wisely, is what mom always called it when I was a kid. Mom's a great teacher, so a lot of my teachings are based off of what I learned from what my mom taught me, and like the life lessons that she gave me on things like for instance, dealing with the consequences of your own actions. Back when I was growing up, they had truant officers. So if you had too many tardies, the policeman would go to your house and be like, "Where's your kid?" And if the policeman didn't like the answer that that they got, they would throw the parents in jail. And my mom would be like, "I'm not going to jail because of you. I don't care if you sit in that chair. I don't care if you listen to the teacher. Hey, what's up? You need to be in that seat because I'm not going to jail because you're out screwing around." And so, say hi, Mom. Wait, now say hi, wave. Blue and red. Oh, that's a new one. So, so she made me accountable. She made me accountable. She always let me know that if I ever got arrested, that not to tell her and to spend my time in jail so I can think about the laws that I broke and the consequences of my actions. And I did that a couple times. I got a DUI twice. One's on record, one's not. Because when you're in the military, there's no public record of what happens when you're in the military. Everything's hush hush. You get away with murder in the military. Actually, you get sign on bonuses if you're willing to commit it. So, isn't that such a weird thing? Anyway, hey, what's up? Welcome to my tiny tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. Jack all tirades. I'm a two spirit. I'm a Heyoka. I'm a stay at home daughter. I'm a mechanic. I'm a IT professional. I'm a caregiver. I get pedicures. I need to get some decent. I give manicures. We trim mom's. Ma, show them your nails. Show them how long and pretty your natural nails are. Can let me see if I can put lights on that, because that's impressive. You haven't known what day it is. It, I know, but I can't. They can't see. I gotta turn on the light. It's dark in here. Hold your hand out. There. See how pretty your nails are? Oh, nope. Right there. Hold your hand still. There you go. Wait. This is hard to do with an iPad on a stand. Show them your other hand. Show him that hand. Show him this hand. Show him your nails. I had to trim some last night because they were so long.
They were so long.
Let go. Let go. There. Put your hand down like that. Show him how long your thumbnail is. It's pretty wild, huh? That's not bad for... She's healthy. That's the thing, is there's so many people, their bodies are healthy, their minds are just not healthy, and where are they supposed to go? Like, honestly, there's so many people that legitimately aren't able to navigate through the alternatives in which we are given to just exist on planet Earth. I've known about this since I was a little kid. They said I was retarded in 1987. They said I wasn't. Don't expect much out of her, is what they said.
They said that. Wow.
They said don't. But see, they underestimated me. People do. My whole life, I got Chiron and Aries. It's like a cloak of invisibility, is what it is. People don't even see me. They don't ever take me, which is okay. It's probably best that they don't. But I was the highest masking on Asperger's test pastor, and these are the awards that I get. I won awards like this. I all day long I listen to other people's YouTube talks, and none of them have awards on their shelves like this. None of them. They all just blah, 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 blah. They talk about spirituality and living life, and love and light, and I talk about the shadow aspects of it, and that if you ignore those, that's going to come out and bite you in the ass. This is only one of them. I got another one. I only did 6 years. It only took 6 years for me to figure out what Liar United States was. This is another one I got. This big old eagle. I got 2 eagles. Like I've been doing YouTube talks for 10 years. I speak about experience of my life on, like, when we bombed Iraq from Crete. We never get permission. It's all a facade. The United States, the veil is collapsing. Dude, the central cast members are dropping dead. And they're like, wait, their demise doesn't fit in with our narrative. And they really are doing Weekend at Bernie's. It's so wild, the world we live in. America's like, it's okay because football. It's okay because the World Cup. Or whatever. You put whatever shiny, dangly carrot in front of America's face, and keep them on loops. Nostalgia. Keep them. Oh, bring back an old movie that will remind America of a better time. Just keep them stuck in loops. It's just crazy what this nation has come to, because it used to, when I was a cast member, what do they call us? Central casting. Like, my era when I was in the Air Force was the year 2000. I went in on Mom's birthday, her 50th birthday, and I came out 6 years later. I said, what a crock of shit that was. I got an education, and I found out education is a crock of shit, because it doesn't matter how much education you have, because people with no education, as long as they know the right person, they're going to get the position over you anyway. And that's the America. Like, you can dream about all you want, but if you aren't in the mainstream of it, like if you're not a part of central casting, you'll always be on the fringe, and you'll never get the good invites. I'm glad I stopped getting the good invites.
That's nice.
I don't like it. I don't like the things that they do at those weird parties. It's always good to leave about 10 o'clock because nothing good happens after. No, go home, rinse your face off, take off your street clothes. Like there's a lot of no good that happens after dark out there. So, I mean, the world's getting wild. It's getting dangerous. It's getting wild. Where are these from? I got these recently. I can smell them. Can you see that? It says Noshi. Can you see that? It says on the package, deliciously bold, delightfully elevated, and they're not kidding. Where are they from? They are a leader in the market in New Mexico right now. Let's see. New Mexico is a cool place because, it's a double-edged sword because they're so complacent in so many areas, but then they're stringent on the ones that they're backwards anyway. It don't matter. It's lawless. It's the land of the lawless. Because if you got enough money, you pay people off and stuff like that. Where is it? It's called the New Mexico Noishi Eatables. There's 60. These are what? Pineapple, mango? Is that what these are? Pineapple, mango, paradise. So there's 60. And they're 50 milligrams. But where is it, man? Oh, wait, there it is. JBS Technologies.
Wow.
New Mexico license number. Oh, another $1.3 million house just listed in New Mexico.
Wow.
There's only 16,000. I think that's what the number is. 14 or 16,111 properties in the county of Taos. And Taos County is the size of the state of Delaware. There's only 34,000 people in the whole state. See, that's how it is today. It's not always going to be that way. Taos is going to grow expeditiously because for lots of factors, it already has. But the turnover is there have been so many millionaires here for so long that they're leaving. Taos is like, I said that to my friend today. Taos is the place that people come to try and make it work in the United States when they have enough money, when they're like, okay, it's like they're training wheels to go before they go live in Costa Rica, and Central America, and Panama, and all these places, because more and more every day, people that didn't do nothing to make America any better. They didn't add to it. They just did their loops, their annual picnics at the this and the Christmas at the that and the Easter at the there and the this at the that, and none of that stuff bowed up to add up to do anything useful. And so people are like, "Oh, America's such a shitty place. I'm done with it." And then they're leaving. They're leaving. They're done. They're done. They don't want to do nothing to make it better. They're just going. Moving on, because people are nomadic, and that's what they do. And then you have those that left about 2022, 2023, and they're already decided America's bogus, America's dumb, America's lame. And now they're coming back with their stories. Because something that the nomad, and I have a nomadic heart. I have a traveling spirit. I follow my spirit that led me back to Taos. And then Mom was born in Cuesta. So I have a good record. And so, not that I I was told and I carried in my brain for all these years is wherever I go, there I am.
Wow.
So wherever I go and people treat me some kind of way, it doesn't matter how I act. People treat me the same wherever I go because of who I am.
Yeah.
I just have to not let how they treat me change the person that I am, and not let them basically knock that pretty little smile I have on my face, because that's how you get people when they what was I thinking about earlier when I was a kid, and we would hang out with the other kids in the neighborhood? Psych! That's what it was.
Yes.
When you dupe people. My brother, he's a Virgo. He loved it. Like when somebody falls down and like somebody walks up and they put their hand out, here, buddy, let me help you up. Right? They say that and then they reach down and right before you clinch or like grab hands, you like pull it back and then the person falls on their butt again and then they're like, haha, psych, tricked ya. Like that mentality is why the United States of America is going down the toilet right now, because you have a bunch of fucking frat boys that's all they ever developed. They never developed past the frat boy playing golf on the weekend with their buddies. Or, whatever. I mean, my brother, he was always like really, he's autistic too. I don't think he knows it. I don't know, whatever. I think he probably masks better than me. I didn't answer the questions good enough. And he did to get out of it. But he always stacked the deck. He always would like, we'd go over a dude mom was dating, Tom Carl. Uh, he we'd go over to hang out with Tom at his house and play Trivial Pursuit, and Jerry would he would read all the cards. He would study all the cards. And so, like, and see, the thing of it is like, if he went to his friend's house or his co-worker's house and they played, like, I was never allowed to go. He hated me because I would always be like, why are you acting that way? Why are you being like that? I would call him out when he was acting out of the character, when he was being a phony baloney. I would call him out, and he didn't like to be called out, so he started hating me, and I was the oversensitive. He started gaslighting. My whole family started gaslighting me from a very young age. And for decades, I believed them over me. Until I started putting things together when they sent me to Crete. And then I'd watch the news. It was so real. I would go to work, and then the things that we do would bomb the world in Iraq to liberate Iraq. It was such bullshit. While the American young boys were doing terrible things because nobody was there to keep them accountable. So got a bunch of freaking, little brat boys going off it, and they're just, war is evil. War is evil. Then you have people and then they come back here and they're like, oh, I can't do, it turns a switch on them, a wicked switch in them, and then they can't act that way in the United States, so they go down the I'm a sad boy bottle. They go down, I'm a sad boy, and then they figured out like people in the United States aren't any better off because we freaking bomb places in parts of the world we really had no business. But America said we need to be there. The level of damage that has been done in regions of the planet all over because America felt like it is gross. And where are those military members? I still see the ones that I see are still all gung ho. They're like, they don't recognize how like we are the bully. We're the and now we're getting our karma back. We're getting our karma back because there's definitely consequences to your actions when you perpetuate acts of when kids are terrorized all over the world because of booms outside, regardless of the nation, because machismos are reminded of the good old days with that. Like we haven't evolved past this, so okay. Earth is an etch-a-sketch. That's kind of what Creator does. I found is that Creator says, "All right, create heaven on earth. Here's all the resources. Make sure everybody is comfortable and every age, the greedy exceed to a level that technology wipes out civilization, and we wipe ourselves up because we want too much. People wipe themselves off the face of the earth every day with their dietary choices. I made bad dietary choices yesterday, and I'm suffering the consequences, and my body won't allow it as much. Like, I can't eat trash. I never ate a whole lot of junk food, but now it's like I can't. And it sucks because I've sustained my life pretty much. Like, I don't have to worry about cooking for me because I can always just eat a bologna sandwich or a hot dog. Processed foods aren't good anymore. I mean, they never were, but the ingredients list in the last, since I was a kid till now, has evolved just so the guys that make the chemicals that they put in the products, they can get a cut on the paycheck too. I had a nasty roommate that I worked with in the 8 shop too. Her name was Tanis. She sucked, man. She probably still sucks. She's just a shit human being. You know, everybody you come across is a teacher. That's how I look at it. She just taught me that people just can't be shit. And she was a Nepo kid, and like my grandma and my grandpa, and blah, blah, blah. And she sucked, and for so many reasons, I don't want to get into all of them. She cross-trained out of age and went into contract. Those are the people that get to decide, hey, buddy, from high school, want to make a bunch of money? You know, it's where the shady live. And and like the number of misappropriated funds on bullshit. And I started figuring stuff like it doesn't matter what you do in the military. It doesn't matter how good of an airman you are. Like, I mean, I was exceptional because when I got in, I was there for a couple months. I got a DUI on 11/11. And then I still didn't get sober until like 6-7 months later. I had to go through the military diversion program, essentially. And so what happened is I got sober, I started going to school, they sent me to war, and so basically I cleaned up my act. And so I became an exemplary airman instead of a slacker airman. And I started seeing how it was like rules and regulations, policies and procedures. They were, here they're adamant, like, you can't do this, we'll kick you out, or we won't, depends on who you are. But then over here, they're, Rosie's using Lidls on the weekend for parties. As is, for like, it was like, they always say, there was always exceptions to the rules. So to me, when there's exceptions to the rules, that every time there's an exception to a rule and somebody that gets out of something that they should get in trouble for, because I saw it a lot. That's why I wanted to get, like, whatever trouble I got in, give me maximum, because I deserve it, and I won't do that thing no more. I'll learn my lesson. Obviously, I'm slow to learning. Really, whatever. So, but a lot of people, they don't learn their lessons, but their buddies keep getting them out of stuff. See, and I only did 6 years in the Air Force because that's what it is. We literally practice playing war. time and time again, just so people could fly on the airplanes. And then they bring their buddies from other, and then they join forces. And and academia is the same way. It's no different. It's these people travel here to talk and lecture, and it's just like, how come everybody, even poor people, can't do that? And then I started seeing the big picture. As I became a part of the big picture, I really started seeing the big picture on like, oh my God, Washington, D.C. is the East Coast Hollywood. It is. They're the ones where they write the script over there and tell the whole world this is how it is. And then Hollywood, they write the script and they put it on TV. And then they go, military intelligence is based on Hollywood, on saying we're not doing that. That only happens on TV. And like, they watch too many spy and espionage flicks for too long, far too long. And now we're all reaping the consequences. So, my guidance to the future, regardless of what the astrology is, I think it's funny. All these astrologers that I've been listening to for years, they're like, I've been talking about July 2026 for years. I'm like, have you though? Have you though? Why isn't this playing? Where is it playing? Oh, that's what it is. Hold on. There. See, that's the thing though, is like, where I live is so cool, but it's not gonna stay cool because word's getting out. Word's gonna get out, and more people are gonna come here, and as more people come here, it's not gonna be as cool because people ruin everything. People ruin absolutely everything. They ruin nature. They ruin, like, Neil. They almost got Neil offed. Neil the seal. Everybody has to have their little piece. And the part that sucks the most is like, I can recognize as being that. Like, if Neil the Seal came to town, I don't know, I would have to go in proximity. I wouldn't get as close as ever. I would be back here like, oh look, he's over there. And I'm still just as guilty as the people in their faces because I'm there. So, hypocrisy is among us, and it's in all of us. It's just how much do I let it live, and how big do I let it go ooze out, and it's how often. So it's getting pretty interesting on planet Earth. There's a lot of turnover, so much turnover. There's like this. I remember somebody about, I don't know, half, 3/4 a year ago. Somebody was talking about how you're just like social media influencers, you're just not going to see them anymore. They're just going to be gone. And a lot of people are just leaving. They are going. They really are. That one lady, she did like astrology and would talk about, basically she would do get ready with me. And then her TikToks were to the same song. And then people would like, I'm dating and then she would give her 2 cents on, oh yeah, that's good, oh no, yeah, kind of stuff. She came across my FYP for quite some time, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, she wasn't there anymore. I went so far as to look up the song that she always had in her TikToks to find, and then put that in the search, and only to find out that her estranged husband, ex-husband, offed her newfound love interest, which was incidentally a female, and then himself too. And I was just like, man, people, mostly men. They really can't. They're so over emotional. When somebody says you're so over emotional, with like people tell us, I tell people how I am by how I talk. Other people tell me how they are by how they talk. A lot of people just keep how they really are to themselves, and I want to be transparent in my world because it keeps me accountable. It doesn't even matter if I don't know who's watching, and they might not have any idea what I'm talking about. I'm still accountable because I essentially put my entire fifth step from AA on the internet, someplace within 3,000 videos of these. I want my coffee. Mom, do you know where my coffee is? Hold on, I'll be right back. There it is. Could also tell you that a lot of times when people act out, they're not acting out at the situation that is at hand right where they are. They're thinking about getting upset someplace else at a different time, and then something happens in their present, and then it's like the last straw, and then it's combustion. It makes people combustionable. I'm trying to tell people because people have to get used to learning how to adapt to the new Earth's energy because it's going to be so uncomfortable for so many people because there's no Earth. So even people that have Earth in their charts, there's not going to be Earth in the energy, so there's nothing that they can latch to. So they're going to feel like us without Earth feel all the time navigating through the planet. Like, ooh, what's Earth? What's it like to feel grounded? You know?
Yeah.
What's that like? What's it like to be secure all the time? And see, because I look at people's astrology as alchemy. So I'm fire, and air, and water. And when you put those things together, it makes Colorado. It makes fire tornadoes.
Wow.
It makes boiling water, and then the water evaporates, and then there's no water to put out the fire. And then people have these energies and potentials within them, like I have in myself, and I had to learn how to navigate and control the impulses within myself. So whenever the earth is flaring, it activates the energies with me. Mom, say hi. I don't go out a lot when it's hot because it's not good for Mom. So we stick close to home, and it was like, I don't know, felt like 100 degrees or something like that for a little while. So I was like, Mom, we're going to skip it today, maybe tomorrow. But we go out and walk around and get fresh air, and the clouds are pretty and stuff like that. But I don't do what I want to do all the time because I just want to do it. That's not how I live my life. My life revolves around Mom. And then when she's set, I explore the world, and I study people, and I try to figure out why it is that they act like that. Why is there garbage everywhere? But I legit came up with an app using GIS software. Heck, you could even give everybody because the data centers aren't going to go away, and it's the big businesses that are going to use the data centers. So instead of using it to store data that's recorded off flock cameras, off the police's vest and the cameras, Taos has them. It's a joke. It's so funny. It's laughable. Taos so badly wants to be a real Tao. And so, I didn't even hit it. It still fell over. That's funny. Um, so why don't we just use it wisely? So I came up with an idea using GIS software that all the counties use for their navigation and their land disputes, like where the property lines are and stuff like that. Using that because it's all area satellites. Using that, allowing people in the community, whatever your community is, to pick up garbage for $15 an hour with all of the products and supplies provided by local agency. You just go pick up, go to the place, hey, pick up some trash bags, some gloves. Here, take some water with you, Come back, we'll give you lunch, whatever. Go out pick, because there's so many people that would just like, dude, I would pick up garbage all day long for as long as I could make enough money that I could like people would do that, And a lot of people, they've done studies for so long that small communities, like, they turn to drugs and alcohol, and then they get in trouble to feed the borough brats so that the cops can get paid for keeping law and order, when we need to create more ways to keep people entertained. It's always been like that. Give people things to do, they'll feel like a part of their community, and then they're gonna have more, I'm so over patriotism. Like, that's not what people are too worried about out there. They need to focus on their local community. Just, it's getting that way, man. There's so many. Mom and I are gonna start like a little old lady like mom. Like, I'm gonna find out who the people are that need it, and then Mom and I are gonna have a garden, hopefully. And our goal is to be able to feed 20 people for a week during the harvest season, for people that can't afford like gourmet food. I'm gonna make them like gourmet quality food, and then we're gonna take it to their house for like a real fancy Meals on Wheels for poor people, and give them to people in the like community, like homeless people and stuff, Because I've eaten at some pretty fancy restaurants all over the world. I've been blessed, and I want others that would never ever get to taste like what the bolognese or whatever tastes like. When I was on Crete for that whole time, I basically lived off cold hot dogs and cheese. Wow. But for my birthday, because we bombed Baghdad on my birthday, April 9th, I live on a terribly fateful day. I came to live on a terribly fateful day. And I treated myself to the buffet. And so I got to sample at the Panorama Hotel, this fancy ass hotel. It's still there in Hanya, CHANIA. As a matter of fact, I have one of my background pictures is this one. That's where I got to stay. That's where I stayed when we bombed Van. That's where. Happy birthday to me! I got pictures of me in that pool. Most of the rest of the personnel, they stayed at this place. It's called the Sun, because it's all about their Zionic sun ritual worship, weird stuff. It's all about cheating on your spouse. Look, this is my bunk when I was in basic training. I still have all this stuff. Wait, turn that off. Oop, turn it off. Bloop. Bloop. My basic. It sucked because people at night, they weren't allowed to walk down the middle aisle. That you could only walk, and so people all night long would walk up, or women would go past me all night long. So, and I'm a real light sleeper. So basic training was such a joke. Oh, we moved to Taos in 2020, and after we moved here, we found out Mom was born here. This is Mom's mom. Isn't that funny, Mom? Yes. That's your mom. Yeah, that's mom. Ha ha. because I grew up watching the Bloodhound Gang. And Mom would watch, what was that show? Murder, She Typed. Like, why is it Murder, She Wrote? She ain't never put pen to paper in one episode. She's always typing something. Guess it didn't flow off the tongue as much. Mom and I will go out soon. I haven't really felt like it, but I did re-up water though. So I already went through 40. We gave away 40 waters, and I don't know the period of time. I can't remember when I bought the last one. How long it's been, but the agency doesn't make it. The B system doesn't make it easy for people to live. They just make it easy for themselves to live within the B system. I mean, they've been appropriating funds. They're talking about that FBI dude that, they're looking into his purchase for a BMW. And I'm like, dude, that's all they ever do. And they know nobody's ever going to bust them. So they just they expense everything out. It's never not been that way. That everybody just jumped on the train and nobody... Dude, the fact that they have liquor stores in Congress just lets you know that the country is basically run off a bunch of wicked, evil spirits that are contained within these vessels of these compromised soul sacks that have just gone in the... What do you think a person in Congress... What do you think they do any given day? They work less than half of a year. I was trying to explain this to my friend the other day. I said, you know, when I was and I was at Offutt, we only worked 10 months a year. We only worked 10 months a year. Imagine if everybody in the private sector got 2 months off and only had to work 10 months out of the year. That'd be really cool for everybody. But no, you got to sign up to kill people. Kill for a thrill for a little blue pill. And so... I was like, it didn't add up, you know? Like, because, okay, and this is how, I'll tell you how, military members only work 10 months out of a 12-month year. And let me tell you, they're not busting their balls and ass to freaking do stuff anyway. Most military days, it's like people make appointments so they get out of work, and then they make them in time, so it's like, oh, I'll just stay home the rest of the day. So work gets put off. It's so much slackers. There's so many slackers in the military. So many. I could only do 6 years because I was like, you people are a joke. Their standards were beneath mine, so I got out after. There's no way ever I was going to do 6. I compromised myself for 6 years for a college degree that I don't use, so I could go get a good job so I could take care of Mom. Now I don't go to work to take care of Mom. It's funny how it works out. I'm a stay-at-home daughter. So I know it's hard for people that are ambitious like I am, but you can't go out and use your ambitions because your responsibilities elsewhere take priority. So how military members only work 10 months out of the year? First off, you're given 30 days a year of leave. 1 month, right off the bat. Then there are 15, let's see, this was back in 20, I believe at the time there was 14 or 15. It's getting fuzzy in here. There was 14, 15 federally recognized holidays. And so for every federally recognized holiday on the base commander would usually designate the prior Friday or the following Monday that corresponded with the holiday, so that the team, the everybody on base except for Mission Essential would have a 4-day weekend. During the holidays, the arrangements are made so that you can get usually a good solid week 8-9 days off staycation while Mission Essential. Like, like they always make allowances to make the good old boys comfortable. And I just think about like being a little kid, all those meals we missed. Like we didn't have, we grew up, mom, we were so poor, we looked up at the poverty line. Mom had to petition the state to get $10 of food stamps extra because she researched neurodivergent kids like me with diet restrictions because they said I was hypoglycemic when I was a very young child. They've been taking my blood since longer than I've been alive. And then they and so mom said it's okay. They said I was hypoglycemic, so I couldn't eat sugar. Mom studied this, and it was me, my brother, and her were living off $55 a month of food stamps. And my dad, like, he never missed a meal. My dad is a big old deadbeat dad. He's a machismo. He's the guy that the world wants me to love because he's a really cool guy. Like, the whole world wants me to love men like my dad because he's such a cool guy. No, he's cool to you. That's the thing. He's cool to you. He's not cool. He ain't. We went to a family reunion one time in Los Angeles. We had a cousin. My dad and his cousin Greg. They both had the same name. One had 2 G's, the other had 1 G. They're both Greg Hessick. And this one dude, the other Greg Hessick, was a banker. Thank you. And the banker had hosted a family reunion at his house, and so like we all went. Me, Dad, I think my brother Jerry was there. I think that's the time we went to Disneyland, and my dad lost his free pass ticket, his ultimate pass ticket, whatever, on I think it was the Matterhorn, and he reached up and grabbed it out of midair, out of thin air, and he was the life of the party at the reunion because he did that and stuff like that. Well, there was a lull in whatever. There's a bunch of people there. I didn't know, but I'm related to him. And my dad is the one that taught me that you don't ever stand next to a pool if you don't want to get wet. And I was fully clothed. I didn't know there was a pool. I didn't know that there was gonna be swimming. I would have brought us something. If I would have known. I didn't know. And my dad thought it was really funny and threw me in the pool. And I was like 12 years old, 13 years old. And I'm developed. And I'm in a white shirt. And I'm like walking around trying to not have my own private wet t-shirt. And he did it to get a laugh. And that he also taught me that day that you don't embarrass people to get a laugh. And I did that one time, and I looked at the girl's face, and I didn't want to make nobody feel that way no more. So that's when I was like, but some people don't have souls, and I talk about how they don't have souls, and people get a laugh out of that. Honestly, they really do. But my dad he's one of those narcissist guys. I just stuck up for him because but I remember from being. We almost got killed when I was 12. We almost got killed. So I was faced with, the mortality from a very young age and what it looks like. And I've seen it and gone to funerals and looked at dead people in caskets. And I used to watch 6 Feet Under and stuff like that. And when I was faced with it, I did come to conclusions like, when he goes, I will not be sad because he was never in my life. And I'm not going to be sad about things that didn't happen. And usually when people get sad when their estranged parents pass away, it's because, the potential, like we could have built on our relation. No, you couldn't have because of who they are. Like I had a relationship with him because I had a relationship with him. He didn't reciprocate it back with him. And then I decided to put my energy elsewhere. Like, I'm going to give my energy to mom instead, because she was the one that advocated for me when I was a little kid. Mom was the one when I was there. Mom was the one when I was sick. She would take me out to the park and let me just lay under the tree and let the roots take the pain out of me. The roots from the tree. Because cooperation is nature's way. And mom was the one that let me live in my head and my reality outside, and she didn't judge me. She didn't understand a lot of things because of her programming. She understood what programming was. She took an early childhood development class, and I think it opened up her mind. And we would go to the library, before I could read or cared about reading, because I believe in osmosis, and I think that sitting there reading takes too much of time away from doing other stuff I'd rather do. And so when I was a kid, I'd put books under my pillow and stuff like that, because I could just sleep on it, I would test it with tests, and I wasn't a very good student because people that have disassociated so much in their lives and don't have a lot of earth in their chart, it's because we live in the no place space where the data and all the information is held, but we also live in the realm of all the possibilities. So when I'm reading a test question, I'm like, in what timeline? In what, there's all these contingencies. And so I'll go with this answer, and then it's not the one, and I went to so many schools when I was a kid, like different books designated different stories to be true.
Wow.
All over California.
Wow.
My 12th grade year, my 6th grade, the year everybody born and raised, that's the year in California people went to need camp. They went to their local camp for a week where they had the camp counselors, and you ate too much candy and you get a stomach ache and all that stuff. Well, we moved around so much, every time I went to a new school, either we moved right before the class was going, or I got there and the class had just gone. I went to 4 different schools that year, from start to finish. I started out, you know what I should do? Let's just do it real quick. Let's count it online. Let me get a pen, piece of paper, and I'll make a tallywhacker mark for every place that I remember that we lived in. Okay, so that'll be incorporated in that. So let's see. While people are born and raised. Okay, so the first place I remember stuffing cloth diapers in a toilet, and mom said that I did that in Sonora, right? So I was what, a year old? Was I a year and a half? It was before 2, because that was the timeline that I figured out. Because it was at 2 is when it was 10 months old, the bad thing happened. And then we ended up in Sonora. So Sonora, and mom didn't have her own place. We we stayed at other people's places, right? I have the picture that Jerry's a hobo and I was a clown for Halloween in a little kitchenette. Remember the kitchenette? And then and then we live in towns, but then we'd have to move around within the town. There was the place in Morro Bay, Los Antunes, Los whatever. And then there's the place that the place where we had Indy and Pinky. The rats. Our first pets. My pen isn't working. I guess I'll do that later because my pen's not working. I can't keep track of it. It ain't that neat. We moved around so much, I just have been looking for roots as long as I've lived. And then we end up in 2020 in freaking Taos, New Mexico.
Wow.
Only to find out after we moved here that mom was born in Cuesta, New Mexico. So my joke is his mom is born and not raised. Here. So we're back to collect all that nepotism. All that. Don't you know who she is? That she would have gotten if her family wouldn't have thrown her away to the orphanage back in the 1950s, but they did. She's got like she's the youngest of like 19 siblings. Now, one of those people could have stepped up because she had little broken feet because she didn't fit the picture of the American dream. See, Taos is complacent. Taos is like is gentrified itself because it sold itself out to take the money to do the thing that the colonists want. It's all about that. It's like you act like a lizard, you're gonna turn into a lizard, and that's what they did. See, and I got the colony blood too. So when I'm talking shit, I'm talking about that desire in me that would go along with my brother that said put mom in a home and get rid of your dogs. Just close your heart down. Anything that is connected to your heart, shut that shit off. It's business. It's nothing personal. Well, everything should be personal and nothing should be business because we live in a contrived reality, and to use our contrivedom to go out and get people to agree to bomb people over there for any reason that any freaking nut job, nepo brat over here would, and the public eats it up. Oh, we have to. I'm like, I can't watch the news. I can't because it is so, like, society has been dumbed down so much, and the fact that they believe it, that it is hard for me not to go out amongst my peers, watch that stuff, but we live in the same town, but they believe in this shit that I don't believe, and then I have to try to be civil and nice to them when they're dumb as a box of rocks, because every time the rodeo comes to Taos, they're spending $7 million on a place where children can play baseball, but grown adults don't have a place to go, that don't have an address to keep clean and take a shower. And I just think that that's rude. So I'm going to present to the city, the county, who the fuck ever stupid cousin is at the table that day, I don't care, and say, listen, you people don't want to do it, I'll fucking do it, but you give me the place to do it. And if you want me to follow the rules and to be in this, then you make this shit accessible to me, and you let me do the training online. I'll go through your little, skip through your little slideshows, complete at the end, whatever, do whatever, whatever to get the unuseful paid, because that's what borough brats are. They're unuseful people that sit in chairs for a couple hours a day while they're screwing around. Dude, I've seen people legit, like, when I was in the military, I could basically work out whenever I want. I could basically do it, but I didn't take advantage. I would make up for it. There was other jobs like I could, at lunch, they had it when I worked at Creighton over at the cardiac center. They had a full gym, so I could go over to the cardiac center for like $10 a month before work and work out, because I've always been very physical because I have a lot of energy, and when I sit on my ass and don't use it wisely, like Mom has always said, then I'm playing video. I'm doing unuseful things. And now I've seen society being forced into doing things that they have deemed unuseful, but they're getting to be useful. A lot of people are they can't afford food, so they're eating less, but they came into so much abundance during the COVID era that a lot of people need to lose weight. So, the universe gives us what we need, and then it takes when we can't control ourselves in some capacity. That's what I found. So, I have been very low energy lately. Very low. I have it with this cancer. I'm Cancer rising, so it's all about home and cozy dozy and stuff like that. Mom had nice salmon for lunch, though. It was pretty cool. I don't want to go out much. There's like, I went to this little, I don't know, health slash metaphysical fair. I try to support my community, and then my community is just what it is. And I try, and then I had a very unpleasant what I found to be a very unpleasant experience, and I'll tell you why. Because I have more respect for people if people don't like me than people that pretend like they do and really don't. Because there's always ways that they act, and they're letting me know that hey, if you liked me, the scenario would be different. But because it played out this way, you must not really like me. So how can I support somebody that doesn't like me? So I'm just gonna go on my merry way. And this is what happened. I went to this lady. I don't get I don't need card readings. I don't need tarot card readings. But if somebody I know does it, I'll be like, okay, I'll throw some cash at you to tell me what you think. Because they all tune into the no place space. Data, technology, tarot, astrologers, they're all tuning into a no place space. Nothing that they can't tangibly define. I call it the no place space. The land where all data and information is held. And so I go to the place, so I talked to this one lady. Her shtick was art, burnt wood art. It was cool. We talked. I engaged. See, I lived in Omaha a number of years. See, and so there had this place called Hot Shops, and Hot Shops was like they would twice a year around Mother's Day and around when it's really cold before Christmas. They would have an open house, and then everybody would come sell their wares. They would have wine. They would it was a big thing, and I knew a lot of artists in Omaha, like how Taos has their little. It's all who you know, right? So I know people like Les. His shit's all over Omaha. Like he's done the big O's and stuff like that. As far as I know, the shit's still there. Anyway, I knew all these people that were really connected. And so, then I'm myself am an artist. I just don't get to delve into my medium. Because when I get immersed, I get immersed. And I don't have someone to stop, clean up the paint, put this away, mom has to go to the bathroom kind of thing. So, I don't immerse myself into things except for taking care of mom is the only thing I immerse. And so, this lady is like a dude that I get flour from, right? He knows her too, right? And so so I try to be respectful of people until they're shitty to me, and then it's just like, you people are fucking so stupid. I can't even deal with the planet Earth no more. Like, it is so hard for me. And so I was like, okay. I said, I was looking at her setup. She has like handwritten, her Venmo, whatever. I said, okay. And I was like, oh, PayPal. And she said, but it's $25 for PayPal. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I when people tell me what their services are, I like to pay them extra. Just because I value their service. So it's like, thank you, I appreciate what you're offering, but I'm going to go ahead and give you more because I find more value in it than whatever you're asking. It's just another little thing that makes me me. Me. Makes me mean. So I sent her $30, and then I did like the friend thing, so it didn't take that. She's like, well, if you do PayPal, it's $25 because it takes extra out. And I was like, okay, but if I do it this way, then you'll get it all. So and then I sent her 30. And then she gave me my reading. It was a 5 card draw, and then it was 3 at the end. Uh, I look for guidance. I don't take it as advice. Ultimately, I do what I'm going to do. I just do things to see what they're going to say. And so she did the 5. She's like, oh, there's 2 men above you that they're not good. And I was like, yeah, I already know. I already had this conversation with AI this morning, and they said the same thing. That'd be my father and my dad. And they're like, and she, it was like, well, they might come in like they're not gonna. I'm like, I don't have to worry about them. They'll never come directly in my proximity. I mean, yeah, it's not likely that either of those men I will ever see alive on this earth ever again. I probably won't, because I don't care to, and they don't care to see me. So, I mean, it's got to be a mutual thing, and we don't got it. So what was I saying? Okay, so she did her reading. I had ordered, that's what I did. I had ordered food at the little restaurant on the corner, La Cuerva or whatever it's called. And then I went and got my reading done. And then I still had a couple minutes before it was supposed to be ready, because the reading didn't take 10, 20 minutes. 15, 20 minutes. And so I sat on the little swing outside. And then when it came time, I went to pick up my order, and then I left, and I left my water jug someplace there. And so I went to the park because it was close, because I always like eat one of what I order, or I'll eat a bite, and then I'll save the rest until I get home and eat the rest of my food with Mom. But I want to get that first bite that it's like when it's the best hot out. Like, I don't know, it's just a treat. It's just what I do. So I went to the park, and I was like, I'm going to eat one fajita, and then I'll eat the rest of my lunch with Mom at home. Mom got a nice, the food was really good at that place. It was a seafood, like, enchilada plate. It was good. And then, when I went to the park and I was eating my fajita, I realized I had forgotten my water bottle. And so I called the dude I know that was selling t-shirts outside, and he wasn't even there. He was taking a shower someplace. And so I was like, by the time he called back, I was already almost there. And so I park, and I walk up, and the woman was giving a card reading to a man. And so I'm standing outside the door. The t-shirt guy's here. The door's here, and I'm explaining to the guy, yeah, I forgot my water bottle. I got my food, went to the park, but I'm standing there. No, I take that back. I'm standing there waiting, and the guy said, did you forget your water bottle? I said, yes. And I didn't realize it until I was at the park. And as soon as I realized, and he's like, it's in there. I said, well, thank you. The guy that was getting a reading got up from his chair, left, and the woman, she knew I forgot my water bottle. I had it right on her table in front of her. She knew it. I had my 2 sets of glasses, like, because I took it all off so I could be present with her. And then she just sat there and ignored me. She didn't even look up, didn't even concern herself with my presence. And it was homeboy outside they got up and said, he's like, and he got up and he's like, here. And then he walked into the room, got my water bottle, and I'll probably won't go back to that space again. And it's such a pretty space. That's the thing, is like, places are so beautiful. It's the people that just ruin the place by being such shitty. They just suck. They just suck. They just suck. They're just empty. And then they see somebody like me. It's all lit up. And it's all generous and all kind and all loving and all excited about life. And they're all just, I'm miserable in my world. How can I make it shitty for her? And it's like, well, you can't. You can't. You can try, though. And I'll talk about how less than they were, because people are just so less than. They could be more than, but they're less than. And I guess I've done a lot of cool shit in my life. I've done a lot. I've done so many things that people see on TV. I've done that in real life. My real life is experience. Like, people live their life and strive to do things that I've done. And what I've learned is I don't want to do those things anymore. I want to sit around in my house like we're doing here, but I want to have a garden outside. And then so when Mom's watching TV and it's cold outside, I can put a fire in the wood stove. And then I'm going to set up a bunch of freaking to-go containers, and I'm going to make gourmet food for people in the community that the community don't care about either. And then I'm gonna build up for things, because that's what we're supposed to do. Is we're supposed to evolve in life and to help more people with what we got, because what we got is plenty. And I want to make a place where people that are traveling around that freaking they want to take a shower, take a shower. Come, I'll have a nice outdoor kitchen. Make a nice meal for yourself. You don't know how to cook? I'll cook for you. You take a shower, we'll have laundry facilities. It's all going to be like regenerative, sustainable, like next to nothing, but getting by, but getting by and being comfortable for even the lowest echelon. Even the shittiest people. People do drugs and drink because they don't got nothing better to do. Give them better things to do. Treat them like they matter, and they're going to start doing things that matter. Treat them like they don't, and they're going to keep doing shit that don't matter. Except for it feeds the beast system. My brother's the beast system. Guy makes 240. Who makes fucking 200? Who gets the direct deposit? Oh, there's another 15 grand for the month. The guy's a Virgo. He writes letters out of his office. I don't even think they use the physical building for the Office of Parole, State of California. I went there one time, and it was like on the second story off like K Street Ball. Like, we went in this little, and I'm like, this is where the parole office like runs. It's like, he was like the grunt. This is before he became a lawyer, so he already had his job. He got the position as like a grunt that went in to lawyers, like the paralegal kind of thing. And then they would gather the data and then tell the lawyers about people. I remember one time, I remember exactly where I was standing. He's like, Marge, how do you know that a Satan worshiper is redeemed himself and he's not gonna sacrifice humans anymore? Like, because I was in AA, so what he was asking, like, how do you know that, like, people really don't want to drink, or they're saying they don't want to drink to get the heat off, because it's a 50-50 chance. I said, well, Jerry, if you don't have the discernment, you don't know. I can't tell you my discernment on that you can borrow so you can deter. I can't do that, because I can't. He had terrible. He and his roommate, Aaron Alderson. Dude went to prison, I think. I don't know how long. I don't think for very long. 5 years, maybe. Not for very long. I saw him on the socials. He came across my FYP and it creeped me out. He never did nothing to me. He went to prison. He was my brother's roommate for like 10 years, and he creeped me out the way he was like, hey, like, dude, you're like 30, I'm like 16, you know? Oh, I'm just being friendly. Yeah, don't be friendly to me. I'm 16. I'm a child. Don't you? No. Don't even look at me. I'm a child. But yeah. Jerry went to go see him one time in prison. Probably didn't. You're not gonna rat me, are you? Like, my dad found the roommate. Like, I mean, dirty birds of a feather flock together. I just see. I was a female born into this, and they wanted me to go along to get along because come on, Marge, you're just being guys will be guys. No, dude, I'm a woman. I'm loyal to Team Female. I'm not loyal to scumbag. Brother, father who has been hated women like their whole lives, and no, I'm team. And I'm not even a feminist. Whatever that means. I don't identify with anything except my name's Marge. I'm a yoke empath. I just like having these little talks on how I feel about things, and a caregiver. That's about it. Like, I don't know, whatever's happening in the world, they keep interjecting the frequency of fear. Soon I'll have my Hawkins scale poster. I got one. They had one on Amazon. First one I tried to get, they won't ship to Taos. A lot of stuff I can't get in Taos. So if I try to get stuff, it won't come here. And so, like, a couple times I've sent it to a friend in Illinois. I don't think I'm going to do that no more because I don't know. But, I always kind of looked at the world like that, though. If I'm supposed to get something, I will get it. It will be mine. And if I'm not supposed to have it, I will try, and I will try, and I will try, and it will never be in proximity to me because it is not for me. So I just learned that nothing is really for me on planet Earth. I get to live in proximity. I live in the orbits of things. Even when my dogs, like Luda's over there, it's like I live so that they can live their life comfortably too. All of them. It wasn't just my dogs were my dogs. It was my dogs were having their own experience in this incarnation. I was shepherding them around the United States, and they got to have their experience too. And they had a much more vast experience than most dogs get. Benny was supposed to go to Owatha, Kansas, and live in a cornfield for his days. And all these things, like every time like a tornado goes through, and I'm just like, Benny, that could be you, Benno. It's like, whoo, Marge, thank God Benno's here, Marge. Thank goodness for now, Marge. And he got to live in all his states. And Benny and Luna and Sassy and Artie Pants and Noble even, Tucker. All of them got their day at the beach. So they all came from the Midwest core, and then they went out to Oregon with me, and they all got a day at the beach. So it's like their little souls got to have their experience too. They're never just my dogs, they're my companions in life, of keeping days full of love and joy, and Benny made me crazy, but Benny taught me how to be patient in ways I didn't know I could be patient in so many. And tomorrow, it's been a year since he's been gone. Tomorrow, the next day, it's fuzzy. I don't want to know that it's like my day. My brain is broken. And some days it's not going to remember the right thing. It's going to remember the thing that whatever. So, is the day that I woke up and went over and pulled the blankets up, and he had already passed. So he was doing me a favor. He did me a favor because I had to put Tucker down, and losing them all in 11 months changed me. It made me soft. And I was talking to my friend the other day because she's seen me through hell, is what she's seen me through. And she's like back when I was in AA, we had sponsors that we would tell everything to. So between my channel and like her and Mr. Iski, like I don't have any secrets because it's those secrets that get people drunk, and I can't get drunk because I won't take care of Mom no more. That's for sure. This cocktail Marge only cares about having a good time, and caring for Mom isn't always fun. It's not always a good time. Sometimes it's very stressful. Sometimes, anyway. So, I was trying to tell her that, my train of thought just derailed. I don't remember what I was talking about. Or I guess I'm done. Maybe it'll come back. Give me a second. Yeah, I guess it's gone. I don't remember. Are you hungry?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just was. No, it's not even. I gotta blow my nose. I can't remember what I was talking about. All right, I'll just switch gears. I'll just talk about things how I want to see the world. That's what I was talking about, the shower station and the place where people can go and come and take showers and stuff like that. And then for like, people that are passing through that are like the ones that go to Walmart and their stuff is breaking. I want to invite people we're just passing through, because Taos can only stand people that are passing through. They don't really. It's not really known for being a real friendly place, unless I don't know. They just have their ism. They just have their issues and their isms, like ists. Like I never understand what it is to be a nationalist, because like Mom was adopted. So we were born here, but then we moved here, and then so it's like, I mean, if we live here and I have allegiance to this town, and then I move over here, I'm spreading myself out, because do I have allegiance and pride to both, or am I supposed to have more for this one because I live there now, but I lived there first? Like all that stuff. I don't care. It's also terribly stupid. And it doesn't matter where we lived. A lot of these places, like we lived in freaking shitty ass places, because that's what society would look at Mom and be like, that's what she deserves. Like that's all you could afford. This is what you get. And Mom was real used to having nice things, because she was adopted to a dude that he was single, or he was married. He and his wife didn't have kids, and he was retired military, so he had this big fat pension. Wow. And then he and his wife Margaret adopted a couple kids, Mom being one of them, and her brother Kelly, who used to do hair in San Francisco in like the 80s, and he died. Yeah, and hepatitis or something like that, and so when Mom they collected a paycheck from the state for adopting these two kids. And so as soon as they turned 18, then they said, okay, Mom got a suitcase and an invitation to move out on her 18th birthday. And so she was living in Ventura at the time, and then but they never taught her how to take care of herself. They never taught her, because she always had the advantages, right? They always, like, she tell me stories about going to the Grand Canyon and all this stuff, but they didn't teach her like how to balance a checkbook. They weren't giving They should have kept those checks that the state was giving her and given it to her as a nest egg. So when she moved out, she had to start it, but they didn't do that. They said, "Okay, thanks, Loretta, bye," and she didn't know what to do. So back in the '60s, she did what they taught her on TVs: find a man to take care of you. And that's what she did. She found John Cook, and they got married, and then they got quickly annulled. And she had a little dog, and she took her little dog from Seattle, Washington, on a Greyhound bus back to Ventura, wrapped up as a little baby. And she, Mom's tenacious. Mom's super tenacious. Mom's, she's literally focused. I get it from her. And so you have all these women that, and then she found my dad, or my dad found her. My dad's pretty predatorial. He's a predator. And so that's when the story of me began in San Luis Obispo County. Woo! It ain't a lot. It ain't. It's a pretty wild story. Anyway, we'll tell more of that later. I told it in the last. God, I've done 3,000 of these videos now. It's amazing how many of these videos I've done. And I'm talking about, okay, if people don't reach down deep into their free will and start taking care of themselves and then reflecting that out into their community, things are going to start getting bad for more and more people. Here we are now, Colorado, what are they up to now? The containment. I think I don't know, it's always something different. And it's nothing like, hearing how there's only, a few personnel on the fire, but when you look at pictures where headquarters is, there's like twice the people standing around there. It's just agency. The B system is collapsing. I'm excited for what's next, though. I think it's going to be... See, for one, they lie about population numbers. They've been saying forever that there's this many people on the planet. And as we can see, the evidence of deteriorating cities and communities all over the United States dissolving. All these people, like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all these military members that would get PCS a lot more often because budgets were higher. So every 2-3 years they move someplace else, buy a house, and then turn it over to a rental company or a property management company. And some people have 5-6 houses, while a lot of Americans don't have any. And so now this imbalance is shifted. Is that the kids played more video games and did less. And so now there's this balance of, for years, these men got up, put boots on, went to work, and then that stopped. It happened less and less and less, and then some women put on boots on, went to work. But the fact remains is less and less people go to work to do the stinky, gross jobs, the trade jobs, because they sat on their asses and played video games for decades, whatever, and didn't do the work. Why? They didn't have a work-life balance. They just played. Had more kids. Their kids played because they just watched parents play. So play. And then people don't know how to work. They don't have practical skills. And the infrastructure of the United States is dissolving. The contrived reality of the United States is collapsing. The actors can't act the way the higher ups want them to act, and the narrative that they've held up of what the United States is: go fight, win, kill for a thrill, tell you gotta get that little blue pill, is dissolving in front of people's, because people are aging out. They can't. They just kept planning on writing the script on how they want the American people to believe that we should live our lives. The dude was 84 years old. He's not around anymore. And then it's like, they didn't count on this one dropping, but then this one they counted on living longer, and he dropped. Like, creators played with the puppet game. It's like, We should be living in universal, not just healthcare, but income at this point now. Is where we should be, but the control mechanism, the frequency of control. No, we're dominate. We're gonna do it how like all that stuff because that's how they were treated when they were little children. They were made to feel like they control themselves. So when I get to an age and I can do stuff, oh look what I can do. Like I'm always asking myself, what would people do if they could do anything that they want? And then I look around all over social medias, all kinds of social medias. I'm just scanning for data because we're taught to do whatever we want. It's a free country. We can do whatever we want. The thing of it is that we have to have discipline. This is my discipline. This reminds me of my discipline. This is Saturn. The red, white. This is Saturn. I carry Saturn on my shoulder. It's discipline. And like every time I hear astrologer talk about what Saturn means to them, I'm like, that's the restraint. That's the voice in your head that says, don't do that thing if it's going to cause harm. Right? Mars is the thing to me is that says, just blow the shit up. Fuck it. But I got 23 degrees of Mars, but I have 29 degrees Saturn. That is the ultimate degree of discipline. And I've learned my whole life, do that thing that you're always saying, and see what happens. See what happens. Because Mom has been putting in my brain since I was a little girl that you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your actions. And it might not be it's always to a universal God to me. Like a good orderly direction to me is God. That says like, just take care of people that are around you. If somebody needs help, you help them. And then it doesn't lead to the extremes of made up fake wars in far off places. If you help people and you listen to people in proximity, it won't lead to that. And people don't see the connection, and I explain it here, but I've been talking for an hour and a half, so I'm done now. That's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a